Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm sitting down with the co-main event at Versus Fight Night 16 and one of my long team athletes. Welcome, Tyrone Lamprecht.
Awesome. How's it, Coach? How's it, guys?
Good to have you. Thanks for being here, man.
Thank you very much, Coach. It's great to be here.
Cool. So you've got quite a big fight coming up, your second professional fight.
That's right, Coach.
Co-maining a big event, a big fight night at Versus Fight Night 16 on the 1st of November.
That's right.
So how are you feeling? How's your week been? How's camping going? How are you feeling about the fights?
Right.
Week.
Yeah. So I'm actually very excited, Coach. You know, it's my second professional fight, so that's always a very exciting thing. And as far as preparation goes, Coach, I feel like this time the preparation has gone as good as my preparation has gone before any fight. I feel like I have a lot of systems in place because I have, all of the past experience, that I now have decent systems in place to make my cut so much easier. So going into fight week now, the only thing left is I've already pretty much peaked physically. I just need to make weight and beat the scale.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I think that's a experience thing. And although it's your second pro fight, we've walked this walk.
Right, yeah.
Many a time. I think, how many? I think close to 25 amateur fights.
Yeah. Probably 23 fights, Coach.
23 amateur fights.
Yeah.
We made sure everything was covered and that we know your body and that you know your body to a T before we went pro.
Right.
So I think it's a testament to the experience and the journey that we walked and that we did everything right. And now we're sitting here a week out as a pro and you look amazing.
I feel great, Coach. I feel great. I feel like I've been through a couple of ups and downs throughout my amateur career without having these systems in place, Coach. So I just kind of try to white knuckle this stuff, cutting weight the wrong way, not being super disciplined with my diet and stuff like that really does do you in the long run. But fortunately now we do know how to manage stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think that's a big thing that people don't understand, and that's something that you are pointing out is there's a big difference between amateur and a professional, and it's not just the gloves and the shin pads.
Right.
It's about making sure that every aspect of the game is not just being done professionally, but is being looked after by a professional.
Right. No, absolutely, Coach. I feel like being a professional is a mentality, Coach, because at the end of the day, you got to hold yourself accountable when nobody's watching. You're the one that's got to do your diet and make sure that you're fit and do all that stuff. At the end of the day, if you just show up to the gym and you're training an hour a week or, 4 hours a week, that's not enough. It's just not going to cut it, especially with the level that the sport is going.
And then specifically the professionalism outside of the cage and everything that you need to do and how small the margins are if you're a professional athlete, to make mistakes, and you really need to 1% is the difference between making it and not making it. And that's something that we decided early on that we're going to figure out properly right through amateur career so that when we go pro there won't be any doubt.
Right. Yeah.
So talk me through, you had quite an extensive amateur career. Without going to any of the major tournaments, IMF, and building up a big record, I think you are one of the most experienced amateurs that South Africa has had, specifically without fighting so many tournament-style events. Talk me through your amateur career and how that was, and how did you get into the sport of fighting, and what made you decide to stick around and become a professional at it?
Right, Coach. So I feel like when I was a bit younger, in high school, I used to go with my friends, make a lot of trouble, get into a lot of bar fights and stuff. So I kind of thought, maybe I have a little bit of a natural knack, for the fighting stuff, Coach. So once I was done with school, I thought, why don't I take this talent that I do have and try to make a profession out of it? And that's when I walked into CIT. So fortunately, I was lucky, Coach. So when I walked into CIT, I got to meet you immediately. So you were the first MMA coach that I ever had. So from there we started, we did a couple of grassroots fights. We got into Versus MMA, which obviously has been treating us well. We've had a couple of fights with them, Coach. And then also we did fight nationals as well.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But that's the only tournament style event we ever fought.
That's the only one. Yeah.
and you had 3 fights in 3 days.
Exactly.
And but that's the only tournament style event that you fought.
Right, coach. Yeah.
A lot of these guys that you see with these huge amateur records, they fought IMF regionals twice and worlds twice and rack up 20 fights in 2 years. We didn't do that.
Yeah, no, we didn't do that, coach.
We did those 23 fights over a proper extensive period of time where we came down a weight class and we tested everything and made sure everything was
Right. When I was an amateur, we actually fluctuated weight classes quite a bit, coach, you know?
Yeah, we needed to figure out what's going to work and how we're going to do this thing sustainably going forward with your body.
Right.
Before, I think there's a lot of coaches and athletes that are jumping to the pro scene way too early, and it's not necessary. I mean, you walked into our gym when you were 19.
Right.
So we had time to work. There was no rush, and I think the time is right now.
Yeah.
So tell me about life before fighting. Who's Tyrone? Who was Tyrone growing up? Where did you grow up? And
Right, coach. So, at a very young age, I grew up in Johannesburg. You're putting me on the spot here now.
so you know where this question's going.
I know where it's going. But so I grew up in Johannesburg when I was very small, coach. And then after a while, around maybe grade 6, we moved to Limpopo, coach, in a small town named Groblersdal. Yeah. And I actually stayed there for a long time until grade 9, until we moved back to Pretoria. And then I actually finished my high school career in Hoërskool Gerrit Maritz in Pretoria North. Right. So, but I actually spent most of my childhood, I would say most of my core memories definitely comes from my time in Limpopo, being on the farm, being outdoors, riding bicycle with other kids, playing outside, stuff like that. I'd say that really formed me, kind of as an individual. So then coming back this side to the city life, it was a little bit of an adjustment, obviously, because there's more stuff going on, So it's a little bit more of an adjustment to go out with people, and they kind of used to going out in the city life and stuff, where you just kind of used to, being outside and, being kind of rugged, if you will, So that was a little bit of an adjustment, but other than that, then pretty much kind of fit in pretty well, coach,
Yes. Then I've got another question that you say most of your core memories are more of a conservative farm upbringing, right, relaxed, and coming back to the city where everything's a bit quicker and a bit more fast-paced.
Right.
It obviously didn't take you very long to adapt to the fast-paced lifestyle, turning into Zach Rasdien overnight, right?
Right, coach, right. So
tell the people who Zach Rasdien is. So for those of you that don't know, Tyrone was a childhood actor, and you can find him, the most famous character is Zach. You played was Zach Rasdien.
That's right, coach. Yeah.
Tell the people who's Zach Rasdien.
Right, coach. So I actually used to play in a TV sitcom. I think it was called the Rasdien Show or the Rasdiens. That's kind of a little fuzzy for me. But I was actually one of the main characters in that. I played a little kid named Zach Rasdien. So that was actually quite a fun experience. Being on set with people. Kind of seeing how the movie world operates and stuff like that.
Yeah, so not just anyone. You were on Joey Rasdien's show.
Right.
Aired on SABC for years. So that's something that I didn't know about you up until very recently, and which was, it makes a lot of sense with how comfortable you are and how it makes sense to me that you come from that world.
Right.
But I think it's an important thing that we need to get SABC to please send us some episodes of the Rasdien show where we can find Zach Rasdien. So Zach Rasdien, just look into that camera and just tell people who you are, where they can find you, and when you're fighting next.
Cool. So I'm Tyrone Lamprecht, guys. You can catch me on social media at Tyrone Lamp01, and I'll be fighting next on the 1st of November at Versus Fight Night 16 at Hartfeld Arena.
Tyrone, thank you for being here, Mr. Rasdien. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much for having me, coach.
See you soon.
Cool.